Hello. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to upload data into Google Colab. Okay. First, let's begin by opening up a new notebook. Um, Uploading data is a little bit different than Jupyter Notebook. And so this is going to be a part of let's make this a couple options whenever we want to load data. We can do local. We can, option number two, we can import from a repo. So like GitHub, um, OSF, maybe a Kaggle data set. And then number three, if we're in Colab, maybe we have the data within our Google Drive and would like to access it from there. So that's the main purpose of this video, is to walk through these different techniques. So first, we need to load um, pandas. And a data function proprietary to this really only works with Google Colab is we'll do from Google Colab import files, and then we'll use uploaded equals files upload. And then we want to close the parentheses. There's an optional, if we start getting into bytes and string, and I'll put it in here, and this particular syntax will not be used in the demonstration I'm providing for you. Think of efficiency. And in particular, when we're talking about handling data, the import IO can be really useful. And so imagine you've uploaded a file and now it's in a byte string. And that's what this is helping to do. And so you need to transform it. So this is where you would use the IO. And so you could use with IO dot string IO, or you do use IO dot byte IO. And these create file-like objects in your in the computer's memory. So I guess you can think of it kind of like a virtual file that Python can read and write, like it's on your hard drive. So, but it's think of it again like in a virtual sense. So that means you can manipulate this virtual file. You can do operations on it, encoding, decoding, etc. For data science purposes, this is really useful if you're needing to do that. The thing is for most folks, it may not be necessary. So if you're not really using massive or large CSV files or really specific data streams, it may just be an extra line of code. And that's, I'm putting it in here as optional, and you can look up on it more. But I would say this: if your upload is pretty straightforward and you don't need to manipulate, then it may not be useful. Okay. So just be aware that you have this at your disposal. So when I run this in particular, this upload and files upload allows us to go select a file. And I created this locally for us. Okay. Loading data. And then we'll load let's do the Excel file, the Titanic data. Okay. And so once I've loaded this data, I have quite a few options I can do, right? But it's not in a data frame yet, and so that poses an issue. So it's hanging out in a state of uh, just in a temporary state. Let me say that. So what we need to do is bring it out of the temporary and let's assign it to a data frame. And this is the reason why we use the pandas. So and we imported pandas earlier. So if we do pd read Excel Titanic dot xlsx. And here's the thing. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's try this. Here we go. We get the first five and last five. Okay. All right. So now we've established and we've imported the data. We can do further analysis on it. We can particular functions on it or apply those. So if we want to look at use the describe function. So df. Okay. And then obviously since we're in Colab, we can turn on this feature too to kind of get an understanding of it. We can look at the columns and such forth. But the main thing I want to show you here is how to load data. So that's method option number one. Option number two, we can load it from a cloud repo into, and this is a little bit redundant, right? But we still need this. Since it's already loaded, we don't need to reload pandas, but I'll just, for consistency, this was your chosen method. Okay, control enter, or excuse me, shift enter. And there's a data set, we'll call this same uh, Titanic data set from my GitHub account. Okay. So very important when we're talking about data, we use a CSV on this one. You click on it, we need the raw data. So we don't want to import this, but we need to go to the raw. And then we can save this link. So copy. Okay. Now, what should look familiar is text files typically are like this, right? So the first row is your column headings, and our delimiter is commas. We could have bars, but we just need to let it know. But CSV imports text and comma delimited. Okay. So if we come back here,